Okay, so we have our final question 263, and here we have our equation of our function f of x is equal to minus x squared plus 9. The first job that you have to do is to draw your function. So I'm hopeful that what you've done is first of all construct a table of values. Then you've drawn a set of axes and you've plotted your points. And then you've joined them together with a smooth line. Okay, so once you've done that, you should have a graph that looks like this. You see I've plotted this in Desmos here, so that you can work with it. Now our first question asks us for which point the function has its greatest value. And it's clear to see then from the graph that this is at 0. And this is why graphs can be so helpful, because it's really easy to see which one is the maximum, which one is the minimum, and whether or not you've identified the shape of the graph correctly from your table of values or from any numbers you've been using. So it's clear that when x equals 0, the function has a maximum. And the wording of this question means it's only expecting the x coordinate. In question B, however, it asks you for the coordinates of the highest point or the maximum. So, if I zoom in, I can see that the coordinates are, of course, 0 on the x-axis and 9 on the y-axis. So then it's expecting 0, 9. For C, we need to find the x value for which f of x is equal to 5. And I said x value, but actually it should be x values, because when f of x is 5, then we have two different options for the x values, namely at 2 and negative 2. So, as before, x1 will be negative 2 because it's the smaller one, and x2 will be positive 2. Okay, so D, we've actually already answered. At which point does the graph cross the y-axis? Well, we've already seen that the y-axis is crossed up here at 0, 9. And E, we need to find out the x coordinates of the points at which the graph crosses the x-axis. And remember, we called these the zeros of the function in class. So here we have negative 3 and positive 3. So this one asks us to find the zeros of the function. The first one at negative 3 and the second one at positive 3. Then we need to find the y-coordinate of the point negative 1, y. So when x is negative 1, then y is 8. So here y is equal to 8. And finally, in G, we need to find the x-coordinate of q, which is x negative 7. Let's see. So when y is negative 7, if we come down here, then we can see that there are two possibilities for q. This could be q here, or this could be q here. So again, we have two solutions, and they were at negative 4 and 4. So x1 is at negative 4, and x2 is at 4. Hopefully my worked through solutions to these exercises have helped, and you've also been able to do the other ones that I set quite independently. If you'd like some extra practice on this, I recommend taking a look at some of the other exercises in 252, maybe B for example. 253 is also a good one to take a look at, and 267 on page 85 would also be worthwhile. These are optional extras if you feel like you need more practice. If you have any questions, note them down, and I'll get ready to answer them next week in class.